It is Tuesday, March 19th. We just finished our Board of Supervisors meeting. We started at about 9:07, ended at 12:57, almost 1 o'clock. We had a lot of discussion, a lot of presentations, a little bit longer call to the audience, but not a lot of really significant votes, but we did talk, we did have some good discussion. Today is the presidential preference election. You can drop off your ballot or vote in person until 7 p.m. You can get the times and locations by visiting the recorder.pima.gov or calling 520-724-6830. This is like you start to flex those election voting muscles, right? Because this is the first one and there'll be many to come. So the 23rd annual Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta Holiday March is on this Saturday, March 23rd. Please join us. District 5 will be there at the park, and I will be marching in the parade, in the march. It'll start at 9 a.m. at Pueblo High School, my alma mater, where the march will go towards Rudy Garcia Park. And there will be community vendors, resources, food, lots of fun, lots of friends. The annual march and rally recognizes Chavez and Dolores Huerta and their fight for farm workers' rights, the continued fight for all workers' rights, and just humanitarian considerations in general. So I think it's a really good time. It should be lots of fun, and I think it's important. So I'm bringing my children. I hope you bring your families. It's a very family-friendly event. With that, I'll get into the board meeting. First, I want to thank Alejandra Riz from the Pima Animal Care Center for coming down to lead the board in the pledge and our community in the pledge, and then to Principal Roscota, my friend from Johnson Primary, for leading us in the land acknowledgement. Thank you so much for that. We had 20 speakers in the call to the audience, and more than half of those came to speak to advocate for Pima Vocational High School. We had the retirement of our Pima County Treasurer Beth Ford on the agenda. Gave her the opportunity to say a few words, and we wanted to publicly thank her for 24 years of service. Her last day on the job is going to be April 12th, and we voted to have a process similar to the process that we had for constables and for our District 3 position on the board once Supervisor Bronson resigned, and we're going to go ahead and go forward with that process. I think it's a good testament to meeting the expectation of the community when it comes to trying to have a broader option and opportunity for applicants to apply for the position. I know that our Treasurer Ford really wanted to appoint her her second in command, her deputy, but I do think it's important to go through a process, and that item passed 3-0. So that was unanimous because Supervisor Hines wasn't there at that time yet, and one abstention, which was Supervisor Christie. We had a presentation of Teatro Carmen by Herb Stratford. I was happy to support the initial investment of Pima County into purchasing that facility, and glad to hear about its progress and all of the work that they're doing in doing their part to raise funds, match funds, to continue that work. I think it's really exciting. Mr. Stratford talked about Visit Tucson and the work that they're doing to partner and really bring funders to this project. And it's really exciting and something very unique and something that we should all be proud of in Pima County. The next item we discussed was Pima Vocational High School. This is a school that was voted on by the Board of Supervisors in December 14th of '99. My dad, Congressman Grijalva, was on the board when this item passed, and it passed unanimously. The idea then was, to have vocational instruction. That was something that was not happening at that time in our community. The pendulum had swung so much that it was a 4-year degree or nothing, and vocational education was pretty much non-existent. And this was the beginning of the charter movement. So the county was the only county in Arizona that ever had a charter, and we had a charter. So that was a 5-0 vote, and the goal was to work with students 16 to 21 that had been unsuccessful in traditional high schools and create this sort of internship opportunity where they would have class instruction and then they would go on to an internship in the afternoon. Pima County Teen Court, the program that I was the director of for 26 years, shared a space with Pima Vocational in the basement of 97 East Congress for over 10 years. And Gloria Pro was the administrator. I knew very intimately what the program was. I knew what it used to be and then what it had become. Where we were now is that initially when this item was passed by the board, there was a state grant that was $35,000, and then the average daily membership of the students was supposed to continue to fund the program. But beginning in 2003, that school year, the board started to supplement that budget. And now this year, the supplement was over $672,000. So from our general fund, with the number of students being 30, on average, we are spending over $20,000 per student that's enrolled in Pima Vocational High School. And given the fact that we have many alternative programs in our community, that we have a JTED program that is already funded by our taxpayers, and all of these students that are enrolled in any programs can also enroll in JTED. There was a unanimous vote from our board to release the charter. And so Pima Vocational, their last day of instruction with students is going to be at the end of the school year. So it was really sad. I was so proud of the students, and they were so moving in their testimony of how the school has impacted their lives. But ultimately, we had to make a decision that the average day had 23 to 24 students. And that's just a huge investment, not only of what we were supplementing, but also the staff from community workforce development that were going there to substitute and serve as interim administrators. It just was a struggling program, had been struggling with declining enrollment since 2014. 2017 was a huge dip, and then after COVID, it just never recovered. So it's an incredibly difficult decision, and I said a genuine thank you to the students that were there for their advocacy, because it was very impressive. And although I knew that the vote that I had to take, it really reminded me of the school closure hearings that we had in Tucson Unified 3 different times over my tenure there in the 20 years. They're incredibly difficult, and it was very difficult. So thank you so much to all of the staff, the parents, and the students who came to advocate, but that we did decide to release the charter in a 5-0 vote. And then I want to thank Brian Bickle, the chair of the Election Integrity Commission, for coming and just giving us an update how everything's going. We will have our next board meeting is going to be on Tuesday, April 2nd. Thank you for keeping up with Pima County politics. Stay safe, my friends.